I'm pretty sure my first rant ever I made on Shades of Blue was about embracing being a part of the sky blue evil empire. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Everyone wants to see themselves as the hero. Nah, son, we are Darth Vader, using the Force to choke out every rival who dares to step up to us. What I want from you as a fan isn't to be the bad guy. I want the best for you, the best for every citizen. You need to free yourselves from the shackles of whataboutism, the weight of playing both sides. Again, who gives a fuck about advocating for the devil? City fans, speaking heresy. Arsenal will win this season because it's a matter of time. Manchester City can't continue winning. Who said? City have won 6 of the last 7 Premier Leagues, 4 in a row, which has never been done before. Huh? Centurions. Huh? Multiple times City have walked down Liverpool and Arsenal to hold on or capture the title. Last season, many of you boo-hoo-hooing about the loss of Gundo, Mahrez. How did the PL end? Now I see y'all making googly eyes at every ex-Man City player who does decent in a match. Have you no shame? Daku and Savinho doing their thing and y'all whining about Cole Palmer. Bernardo back in midfield, Kovacic having the game of his City career, and you're focused on Romeo Lavia? Do you know what makes champions? It's the ability to stay cool and calm and composed in the lion's den, being comfortable in the uncomfortable. How do you react when you are knocked down?
We have to behave like we were a champions team. So, and especially in the bad moments. I would like to see the team in the bad moments. Because today I said we are going to suffer moments, but how we do it together, how we help each other. And this is the most important thing. What defines a big teams is the bad moments, how they are together. And again, in the bad moments we suffer, we were composed and we did it.
Season has yet to really begin and y'all can't handle the heat. I wanted y'all to embrace being the evil empire because it's easier to be boisterous, to have the edge needed to handle the hate or your own insecurity. Some of you might need to embrace the evil because obviously you aren't built to be Luke Skywalker. Winning is more than lifting the trophy. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle.
We saw Olympic Games in the last 2 weeks. 4 years to competition for 1 minute, 10 minutes, or I don't know the competition it takes. And the glory and no glory is, you saw, for example, semi-final, Serbia against the United States in basketball, one of the best games I've ever seen in basketball. Serbia are losers? They are not. So the silver medal or the bronze medal are losers? Absolutely not. So you are a loser when you don't do what you have to do as best as you possible. I know we need just, big compliment for just the winners, but it's not about that. So
we don't have to be demure or mindful. For the 4th season in a row, Manchester City are the reigning champions. I'm going to need to just see some of y'all act like it. Be a champion. Embrace the quads crunk mentality. Once again, welcome to the Sky Blue Evil Empire.
I hate the most is when you don't
making
want to
art
go.
over here, baby.
I hate
Capitalize
it.
that.
You have permission to make a mistake. You have permission to lose. You have permission.
And that's when we get big.
yeah, I'm a genius.
Attack everyone and send everyone.
I think we're forgetting the most important thing. We're forgetting about focusing just on ourselves.
But we can do better. We need to take the next step, and there's no better place than taking the next step here.
Show ourselves out there how much we want to win it again.
We win 4 of the last 5 Premier League, guys. 4 of the last 5 Premier League.
and we're gonna do it again.
Don't ask me again about doubles, triples, quadruples, fifth-tuples, six-tuples, and seven-tuples. So,
don't do it. Hey, and welcome to episode 105 of Shades of
World's famous.
We are the most comprehensive show about Manchester City, covering both the men's and women's game, spanning both sides of the Mason-Dixon line. We making art over here, capitalize the A. I am Crunk Chocolate. I am with my show bros, Lando, Sharpie Charlie. How's it going?
Let's go, boys. Fired the fuck up off a wonderful fucking win. Great start to the fucking season. I am amped. What about you, Charlie?
If you watched our kickoff show, which I hope you did, you know, I was a little down this morning. I wasn't hyped. I was like, hey, you know, we're missing Roger, we're missing Foden. So I am fucking ecstatic. They have exceeded every expectation, exceeded Pep's expectations, which we'll talk about. Like it's just it was a beautiful performance. Great way to start the season.
Oh my gosh, yes. Before we get into anything at all, what I need you to do right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, show some love, leave a comment on what you thought of the episode, maybe a retort to something we said. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or any of those streaming services that allows you to rate and review, please do that. It boosts us in the algorithm, puts us in front of more amazing citizens and football lovers. In today's episode, you know where we're going to start first. Gundo, baby. Who's here for it? Who's against it? Who knows? We will find out shortly. And then we will review a 2-0 clean sheet at Stamford Bridge. Whoa. After the first match, I feel like it's the perfect time to overreact. And I'm here to ask my show bros to predict top six and the teams who will say their goodbyes to take the train at relegation station back to the championship. And bit more predicting when we're going to talk about who will be the player of the season and the most improved before we end the show talking about next week's match versus Ipswich. All right, it's the conversation a lot of people are talking about. I know I said we're looking back. A lot of y'all are looking back and you need to do better. And I am keeping consistent with, you know, what I said at the beginning of the episode. And when I hinted at, I am not for Gundo coming back. If it's a possibility, for those who may or may not know, it is a rumor. Like, because I've seen both. I've seen that they have told Gundo that his spot really isn't needed on the squad. And then I've also seen where he has requested out. So either way, Gundo is not happy or is not needed at Barcelona, which we could have told him that, honestly. And I'm sure a few people did. But is he a player with a week and a half left in this transfer period? We need kind of a person who can slot in and help in the midfield, but not be too key of a player. In theory, that could be Gundo. That's perfect. Right? Wrong? How do you feel? What do you think? Lando, I want to start with you.
So just to kind of give some additional details to some of this, we know that there was a sit-down meeting with Hansi Flick in which there was an understanding as to what's the upcoming circumstances. We know that Ilgai has tweeted positively about Barcelona after a Barcelona win this weekend. And for all intents and purposes, he has been very upfront about the goals and what he has expectation-wise going into the season as a Barcelona player. Everything that we're talking about is very, very recent, within days, based on that sit-down meeting with Hansi. And yeah, he wasn't part of the roster for the first match day for Barcelona. And I find it very experienced of you to have the take, which is a solid pro club, pro proactive approach about players, which is the concept of let it go. We've moved on. I think you've been consistent with other players that have had this. I think it's a little bit different with an Ilkay Gundogan, especially since we know that there's a little bit more of an understanding that he doesn't necessarily need to play all the minutes. He's going to be a guy that's going to come in and just, I think for the most part, fit maybe right back in, but it's not a priority for me in the sense of this better not cost us anything. If this is on a free or a swap for Zhao, yeah, I'm down, but that's my take on it. I'm for it if it happens. If it doesn't, I'm okay too. Charlie, thoughts?
Yeah, but Charlie, before you go in, because I'm sure you won't repeat. You're a veteran now in this. You can tweak your takes in real time. But is it understood that he would just step in and be okay with being a nominal player in the game, especially because he left us because the fact that he wanted an extra year on his contract, he wanted that stability? Would he be comfortable coming in knowing that it might just be a year-long type of vibe? Do you think he would want to come to City just for a year on like a loan type of vibes? Yeah, Sharpie.
So yeah, I'll get that thought first. I do think he would be okay. Like I was a little surprised when I first saw the report. I watched LB's video on YouTube. Shouts to him, and it was cool to see him go through it real time because he was like, "I've been duped. This is real. Oh shit, Sam Lee he validated it. Like this thing has legs. This guy's a real writer. I think once you leave, it's like leaving an ex, right? Like sometimes you can end amicably. You get back out in the field, you find some young things, you have a good time, but in reality, like you still want that old thing back. You still know how good it was. Like you realize, like, no, like this is where I'm supposed to be. And if there's a slim chance, if there's any chance that you can spend the block, I put it on Twitter. Sometimes you got to spend the block, man. Like it's okay. We can admit that, hey, we both are wrong. City should have offered the year. Maybe I should have been more humble and took a year about your approach, but it's okay. We all grew. Y'all went without me. Yes. I got a little bag in Barca, had a nice year living in Barcelona. Shout out to the Catalan. And now I want to come back, and that's okay. So I'm of the opinion of this. The money is whatever. Like we're not gonna go blow 50 million on. Like money is no issue for us. We have so much money in the bank. I don't care about the money. If both parties want each other, and Barca's willing to sanction the leave, I'll take him on loan. I'll take him on a full buy for 10, 15 mil. I don't care. It's not my money. But having him there as an extra rotation player is just a luxury because we'll get into the match today. I mean, we don't need him. But again, once you talk about what could happen with injuries, what could happen with congestion, we know when we get in the winter, it gets real thick and fast when you get all four competitions going at once. It's a lot. Everybody counts. So he has my vote if that's what if Cheeky and Pep decide to bring him back. It'll be weird to see him in a different number though, because he wouldn't get 8. So that would be the weirdest part for me. But knowing that beautiful beard is back, give me that Turk.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't have any long take. I just if he knows he's coming back, it's just gonna be like a year-long thing, and he's behind Kova. Kova is, especially today, which we will get to, he has very much earned that whole backup Rodri position. Whether people are still arguing about it or still clamoring for Rodri replacement, they go roll around in some grass. You obviously need to do something more grand than touching the grass. So go get chiggers and stuff. Are chiggers still a thing? Has global warming destroyed those little shits? Anyway,
I don't know what that is.
Maybe it's just the country in me. I don't know. Ignore me. Let's get to this match. Man City versus Chelsea. 2-0 win by Pep and company. Haaland and Kovacic goals made the difference. Plenty discussed. There's Caicedo fouling, but what's new? Enzo flopping, but what's new? And Halan scoring, but what's new? Starting 11 for Manchester City had Wet Hands Ederson in goal. Vardiol, who has officially earned the nickname White Lightning. We got Diaz, Akanji, and Lewis. They're the back line. Kovacic, Bernardo, and KDB as our midfield. Savinho, which I will. So prepare yourself. I just flip back and forth between it because he's so great.
I'm with that.
I feel like
they're both accurate for different reasons.
Exactly. And you know, sometimes for Flair, when he's being like, it's like the Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. With like if like in the lineup, when I'm saying starting 11, he's Savio. But when he was slicing, dicing, doing his ting, that's Savinho.
I like it.
And then we had Daku as his counterpart on the wing and Halan up top. Sharpie, when you saw this lineup, thoughts? How are you feeling?
2 wingers, man. 2 black wingers. It just took me back to when we had 19 and 7 out there.
What a time.
Or even 7 and 26. It's beautiful. It's nice to see that 2-6 back on the field. 1 year without it, and Daku is a better winger than Jack Grealish, so he deserves to play over Jack Grealish. That's just an object fact. And so I was very happy, and of course seeing Bernardo pushed in where he belongs. Everything was right. How did you feel, Lando?
I felt great, and it was a conversation that I don't think we got to it on the pre-match show today, but something that Kronk and I also discussed when we kind of linked up with folks over at the Flag Stays Down pod. Check them out. Great Chelsea supporters. But we talked about the potential of some of these English folk that were coming in a little bit later, just getting into training. I think it was the day of that recording, which was Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, their availability and see what they were like. I definitely went with the concept that Rico was going to start. I'm happy Rico got the start, and we'll talk later about the performance that Rico provided, but fucking hell, I was really, really happy with the lineup. Loved everything about it and trust in what we have. And ultimately with Pep and how long he's been here, I think that's what you saw ultimately with that lineup. Trust in what we have.
Yeah. And I'm completely in the second half of our show last season, I kind of embraced just indiscriminately talking about things. And obviously there's purpose. We have the goals. I have clips for that. But I feel like we wouldn't be able to talk much about the match without like talking about Rico. And then we'd have to keep being like, we'll talk about him more later in the match. So let's just talk about him and his greatness now. So then we can, you know, talk about the rest of the match, because he was massive. He was like, again, like how I was a little hesitant about Kova playing the Roger position, because can he always make those runs? Can he always make the decisions? Like there was only one time that what I was worried about he did was, but it was a beautiful run. And he was like, made a run, he juked a person, made another run, juked another person. And when he should have passed, he was like, fuck it, I'm already almost here. And then that's when he got caught up, City lost the ball, etc. But it ended up fine in the end. Kova was amazing. And Rico, worried about his height, worried about possible lack of explosion, all of that stuff. Immediately, him and Nkunku, he had a 1v1 and got that toe poke, poked the ball right out. And that was right then and there. I was like, oh, we're good. I went from slightly being worried to just being like, oh, we're fine. I was all in, and just every moment throughout the match, he just made me feel more and more comfortable to where, yeah, I'm in the like Kyle Walker who, and obviously that's ridiculous, but this is also, like I said, week 1 overreactions. But yeah, Sharpie, what's your thoughts on Rico, young Rico?
Every time we say Rico, I think of the wonderful Atlanta era around 2008 to 20, around that time, where it was like, whoop Rico, whoop this shit. Like that's the one sound request I think I'll make for this season. Haven't made one in a couple of years, but it's just an incredible time. Great dance. But no, Rico Lewis is a bona fide baller. Like, he can do everything on the pitch. We saw this man save a goal. We saw this man create chances. We saw this man go 1v1 against both wingers, and Cuckoo and Neto, and not get beat for pace or power. We saw him be intricate in the build-up. We saw him dribble. He does everything on the pitch. The only negative about him is something he can't control, which is his God-given height. Like, that's genetics. That's not his fault. But he's a complete footballer. And it's almost like you have the heir apparent to Kyle Walker right there, which I think is a big reason why, even though it was an option, a player like bringing back, Jeremy Frimpong or going out to get these players, like, no, we don't need them. We have Rico, who's already there, and he's only 19. And that's the scariest part of all of this. Like, he is a baby, and he has shown up in the biggest moments. And to start away at Stanford, this isn't starting at Burnley last year, right? This is a very different environment. This game means more. And Pep was like, no, you know you good. You scored in the Champions League. You do all this. And so I'm just excited that he's there. And the other problem is something he can't control, which is his squad number. Like, it's time to get that 82 off his back. He deserves something different, something under 25. Shout out to Tosin. Like, numbers mean things. But yeah, man, how do you feel about Rico Lando?
I'm looking over the stats over here on Foot Mob, and this is a bit of a thing to where I think it's a great example as to why, if you were to look at the numbers, you wouldn't be that moved. But if you've watched that match, you know how pivotal he was in certain times, getting out of a jam, playing that right back role, and starting an attack, releasing some of the pressure by being able to switch it, also starting runs and then making a run into the box and almost finishing a great little pass over to Holland. If not, we still got the corner. I mean, Rico literally did it all. I push back on the full concept if you say he's the replacement to Kyle Walker, solely not because I don't think he can't be. It's because I think that's the brilliance in mind that he has. I would like to see him play a different position. I would like to see him grow into something more of us just starting right in a 3-back formation and him being tucked in. A lot of the benefits of what we had today for him was Akanji on that back end defending him and allowing him to be able to go up. I thought Ruben Diaz played a tremendous game as well, but he's such a great Swiss Army knife. I don't know. It's a really tough conversation. At 19, like you said, if he grows, I think he'll be maxed out maybe at 23, 24, 25. If by then, we haven't seen any sort of body change to him. The kid's working though. I follow his socials. I'm big on his professionalism. I'm so amped up about his future. I agree on the number change. I just don't know if I want to hold him straight to that right back role right now. Intelligent mind wise, he's there. He's so ready. I love his game, but a 7.3 rating. What the hell? 7.3 rating today. Not that good, but I thought he was pivotal.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't disagree with you in the fact that, like, just to pigeonhole him as, right back like Kyle Walker. I'm just saying he's the next one. Like, he is the next player the same way he did today, right? He does everything up and down the pitch. He's a midfielder who can defend, right? And we know going forward he has that quality. So I'm fully in agreement with that. And I think, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was weary. I said it, like, oh, he's got to go up against him. Cuckoo can go. Like, we know he can ball out. And Neto came in fresh. He did not step a foot wrong. And if it's not for him, we would probably left with a draw. So, like, he showed me everything that I need to say, like, hey, if Kyle Walker needs rest, if he's injured, Rico's fine. Like, I don't, or like, Pep will make his adjustments, but I think even Pep knows, like, in the way he talked about him, I'm sure Crunk will play a clip, like, he loves Rico the way he loved young Foden, and he sees the same promise. Yeah, he's truly like the prince that was promised on the defensive end, the way Foden was offensively.
Yeah. And I will get into the match a little bit. I love how Stavio and Daku were on one spot, on one side of the wings. It wasn't working for Daku against Cucurella for some reason. Might have been nerves because he overcooked across as well. And he technically misplaced his first cross on the left as well. But Savinho, and we also see this with players. Daku, his first couple games, he was brilliant, but then you get like the added responsibility, and now you actually know what you should and shouldn't do. So you tend to become a little apprehensive, struggle a little bit. We saw bits of that with Daku today, but other than that, he was the key pass to the first goal. He was pivotal, and for people who were very upset with him, and I'm just so over it. It's
which I peeped as well, by the way.
Like it's really just because people were going at him last year, so I don't want to say it's like we get a new toy and then people kind of move on, but like Savio, very similar, but you know, it's kind of a different thing. There will come a match, and it might be next week, where Savinho is Savio and he's struggling, and are people going to like go at him? Or are they going to be like, no, we need to support him or whatever? I don't know. It's just the way people go at Daku. It just flashes back to like Sterling, and it just bums me out, stresses me out. And again, when it's like we look at players like Sane, who again did not leave City in the best way, and you guys like love Mans, and I don't know, it's just we need to appreciate the players that are on our team more. And Savio, Pep loves the guy. He definitely said, this is great, but like let's wait. Like, don't put too much on him. That's a little pressure. But I love just the fact that Pep swapped the wings. He saw that early on, and he made that move. He didn't make many moves substitution-wise, which I do think that's going to have to become another conversation later in the season. I mean, it's what I expected. And it's not necessarily why. It's why does Pep not make the subs? Like, what? Because he always says he doesn't like changing the momentum or whatever, but it had been 1-0 for the entire match. It was just like, what would a sub do that could ruin things, I guess? And especially when he just put Phil Foden on. When you go from Savio to Phil Foden, that's not the same type of person. So even when you make the subs, that in itself is a huge change. Yeah, Sharpie?
I mean, I think like the only reason Foden was playing today, Foden looked like a man who didn't expect to have to do work. He showed up to work, but he thought he was going to have a day off. He's like, wait, I got to go in? Oh, shit, I'm just standing on this wing. I'm going to pass back and forth. I was not ready for this. I'm just here. So I don't get fined. But that was because of the knock Savio took, right? It's like, if he doesn't get injured, I don't think you see that sub. And I also think, and this is something Pep said years ago, is that with the rhythm is that, especially when you look at what it means for the opposition, like these players are grooved in the match, right? Players go on the pitch expecting to play 90. So unless you have an injury or like you're truly like lagging, then or the tempo's too much for you, then we take you out for that reason. But we were dominating the midfield. Like it was experience versus youth, and our experience was killing those young boys. Like Enzo and Caicedo looked terrible today for all that money. Like, and we'll talk about the second goal. But like, I think if you bring in, let's say, a McAtee or a Nunes, they're almost like fresh meat, because the game is so enriched that like you're not salting it away, you're almost exposing them because they don't have the rhythm. So one false touch, one misplay, now you give up a goal in a transition, versus players that have been there. It's like, we can see this out. And I think I always go back to that Atletico Madrid match where we beat them, or we held on at the in Madrid that time, like 2 years ago, I think 22, when we were going for the Champions League. We learned how to defend, right? We learned how to hold it. So we know how to hold a lead. And I think if you bring in those other people, now you're possibly opening us up. So we've used the least amount of subs since the Premier League, since everybody went to 5. And I don't see that changing, right? Like, we know we get in when it's blowouts, but if it's tight and we got a lead, Pep's he's not upsetting the apple cart, as they say.
Hey, shout out to you. No, that's great. That's great. That's half the reason why I make these questions. I ask these questions. It's because I know you, again, trust fall. Y'all gonna catch me. Great answer. Okay. Let's get to this goal because it's just a beautiful thing of the growth of a player in Pep's system. Daku, before everything, he's really just walking the ball up the pitch. And then all of a sudden, an explosive cut in, a quick darted pass to Bernardo, who lays it off to Halan, Colwell, Cucurella. They close in. Halan tosses Colwell off. Cucurella bounces off of Halan like Colum's law before chipping in over the keeper to give City the lead. Man, before I get into this conversation, I open it up to my wonderful show bros. I do have Halan on the goal.
I don't know if you remember last year, he had a great save on me, Sanchez, because he always stays a lot on the line. So that's why I took a couple extra touches, and then he's rushing out, and then I knew exactly what to do. I remember for the last year, it's been irritating me for a long time. So that's why I took a couple extra touches, and then, yeah, it was a perfect goal.
To think, like, that's that winning mentality. Like, in the moment, bro is remembering from a year back. Like, when people say you have, like, split seconds, but in that split second, he's like, oh, yeah, that one time last year where he blocked my shots, he comes out hot, let me remember to chip the keeper while throwing multiple defenders off of you. Are you serious? That's massive. Like, shout out to the greatest types of athletes like Erling Haaland to be able to manage all that physicality, and then in your brain, you're telling yourself, calm, extra touch, chip. Insane. Sharpie.
Couple things about that. First of all, you just said Erling Haaland. I've never heard you say his name like that. That was crazy. Whoa. Second thing, and more importantly, Erling Haaland now has 91 goals in a Man City shirt. In that same amount of time that he's been for Man City, the entire Everton Football Club has 86 goals. And another stat, in that same amount of time, he has the most, I think it's like 61 in the Premier League or something like 66 in the Premier League. The next closest person is like 43 or 52 or something. He's insane. We call him a robot, but he really is, like, when you throw an assist, like, he's guaranteed a goal contribution every game. That's just his average. And it's actually pretty scary. And Kronk, I'll push you on this. I won't even say it's in the moment that he knew that. That's preparation. That's what you do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, you're sitting down watching that match, remembering, oh, shit, I did not do what I was supposed to do. I let him get me. When I have this chance, you come in with a plan, right? Like, you know exactly how he's going to, make up for his mistakes. Like we would call out last year. He knew it too. Like, I'm not finishing like I used to. Why am I getting stopped? And so, like you said, for that to be the way his mindset was from the first match of 38, it's incredible.
Yeah, baby, let's go. Man, this team, they're just going to bring us so much joy this season. Lando?
Well, part of his growth, to all of your points, and this is, I mean, it's incredible to see it for ourselves. Some of the next steps for him is to be able to win some of those tight battles where he's in between 1 to 2 people and still get a shot off and have it be a shot on target like he had today. I think if we start to see those types of goals where initially, I'm going to be honest with you, I was yelling, shoot the fucking ball. The moment he had it, I was like, just bang it. Like, why are you dancing? But obviously, there's a method to his madness and there's a reason for it. And to your point, it's the preparation. It's the professionalism. These are the things that we talk about that Pep loves. Pep eats it up. If one of the youngest, most amazing strikers in the world is doing his homework like that during the week, he's taking pride in his job. It's a next level type of winning and mentality. So yeah, the growth, what's coming, man, I don't know, but I keep thinking about Saul and that great hot take he had for the upcoming season, and he might be on to something. Shout out to Saul. Haaland's on a great start so far.
And
that take for those that didn't listen was 40. Was it 40 goals?
40 plus.
Premier League or all comps?
And 60 overall.
And 60 in all comps. Yeah.
60 in all comps.
it wouldn't shock me. He basically did it the first year. Yeah. Wouldn't shock me.
Yep. And post-match, Daniel Sturridge, which again, this is like a whole ass side note. People were going at Daniel Sturridge's outfits, and it reminds me of this. There was this like crazy Liverpool vest that I shared on Twitter, and I was like, oddly enough, you take off the Liverpool part, I don't hate it. And there were just a lot of people being like, nah, that's ugly. It's grass. It's blah, blah, blah. It was just like this bright green, like fuzzy sweater. And I don't know. There were people who hopped in and they were like, I actually like it. I will say, I think there's just, well, it's obvious. There's a difference in fashion mentality when it comes to, because the people who said that they did like it and the people who said they didn't like it, there were different shades in our football fandom, if you can pick up what I'm putting down. And a lot of people who were disliking Sturridge's outfits, same difference. And I don't know. I think there's just like obviously a brashness in what we feel like we can wear. And half the people who I feel like say they can't, it's not that they can't wear it, it's they think they can't, or they're more focused on their buddies gonna shit on them for wearing it. It's not necessarily whether they can or can't wear it, is how they will feel from others when they wear it. And that is no way to wear anything. Like,
there's just a lack of self-confidence. They just see something like that and they're just intimidated.
Like,
they're intimidated. They can't. I can't pull that off. So therefore,
don't like shit on me about it. That's my only thing about it. But it's like, you like the team that you like it, and you don't have an insecurity about it. It's the same thing with fashion. Like, truly, I don't know. You just like what you wear what you wear. We got people out here dressed like wild, and you think they care about that shit? I mean, half the time they do, but that's like a whole deeper laying thing. It's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just let people wear what the fuck they want to wear. Daniel Sturridge looks great in the fits that he wears, and he adds a very fun, cool to that group of people. Like, especially when you put him next to Tim Howard. And honestly, even when you, like today, when you put him next to Micah Richards, because Michael is just, he's a clown. I love him. Love what he did with his time at Man City. But I don't know. He bums me out. And I'm also not sure if Halan enjoys Micah Richards. From, if you saw the post-match conversation, it was very funny, their interaction with each other. Anyway, Daniel Sturridge was asked, how does Halan want to improve himself as a player?
When you see today all the defenders, how good they play to the midfielders, it looks like Pep will not like me for saying this, but they don't need me playing out, so I can just stand there and watch. But no, of course, getting more involved, that's what Pep wants. But in games like this, do I need to be more involved? I don't know. This is
bring them back a little bit.
A $1 million question, But of course, I want to improve as a overall player. With the ball, I want to give more assists back to the players that give me assists. So I want to become overall better footballer, like a player, not in terms of goals or anything, just a player.
Yeah, and like, obviously he cares and he wants to be better, and he obviously hears what people are saying. I don't know. I like when you can see kind of the sweetheart part of Halan, because a lot of what kind of gets pushed about him is the fact that he's a robot. He's a Nordic meat shield. But he's just like, nah, bro. Like, yeah, I score 91 goals in 100 appearances, but I want to be better. I want to be a better footballer. I want to shut the people up who hate on me. Let's show some more love to the defense. We gave some love to Rico, Vardiol, class, Ruben Diaz, again with his timely stops and his slides, and I mean, even Vardiol had a slide one moment where I was like, good job, Ruben. And then he got up and I was like, oh no, that was Vardiol. Okay, let's go. They must be Ruben Diaz must be teaching his method, his technical prowess. He's spreading it amongst to his teammates. I love it. Yeah, our defense, so great.
I just want to say, like, that unit is the most balanced unit offensively and defensively that you could put like with any three defenders, right? Because if you put in Cal for Akanji, you lose something, right? If you put in Ake for Vardiol, you lose something offensively. You put in Stones for Diaz. I think they're close, but I think Diaz is a little bit better defender. Like, it's just a really balanced set of defenders. Like, we're gifted, right? I just named 3 people on the bench that are all internationals and world-class players. But, like, once you see what they do, like, I wrote a note. I went back old school today. So, like, when I started the show, I used to take notes. And I was like, you know what? I feel like taking notes today. I need to, like, get in the mindset of getting ready for the school year. Let me just take some notes.
Well,
and Akanji's ability to keep possession is so important. I think that experience of him moving up last year helped him out so much more. So now when he's in the corners, like I don't know if you all remember that sequence where we literally passed across the goal like 3 times.
Incredible.
But
incredible.
It's not nerves. It's not rushing. It's not like I never thought we were about to concede an own goal.
No.
We just did what we did to keep the ball, make the defense run. They get tired, and now we can reestablish the build-up. It's just beautiful. And Diaz, I was his harshest critic. The man has gotten better. And this is from a man who won Player of the Year 2 years or 3 years ago. Like, he is so great. Like, I see it. I believe it. I'm a fan. And no abbreviation, Kendrick Lamar. I'm just a supporter of what that man does out there. So shouts to Father Ruben. Shouts to Akanji with the fresh braids. Young White Lightning on the left. It's a beautiful unit. And then Rico. Like, I wrote down a note. And I use numbers in my notes. So I was like, 82 didn't let 18 get on the right foot. And this was early in the match. This is probably around the 30th minute or maybe 25th, where they had and Cuckoo got a transition, had a chance. He wanted to cut in on his right foot. And Rico just wouldn't let him. Most defenders give it up, and I don't know why, because he's not going to go left. So just make him go left. He doesn't want to do it. And once he made him go left, we got the ball back. Like, it's just those little things that I don't think Rico does last year. I don't think Vardiol makes that slide cycle last year. Like, they're getting better every single year. And one last point before I let you go, Lando.
Go for it.
We talk about, I know people are talking about the market and what we're going to do. Lest we forget, Akanji was purchased at the very end of the transfer window. So please practice patience. Please practice calma. Tranquillo, por favor. Because whatever we need, we get. We don't go into these years with gaping holes, okay? It's okay, guys. It doesn't have to be done on August 18th or 19th. We have until August 31st. We will be fine because Cheeky's the best in the world. Like, it's okay. Lando, take it away, bro.
I was quite impressed with the black line. White Lightning. I'm a big fan of that. Ruben did his thing. I guess I'm a bit surprised by the clean sheet. I didn't think that was actually going to happen. I really, I got a note that if we know every year we start off a little late into the season with the delay.
Yes.
To go into this season and tell me you're going to start off at Stamford Bridge and you're not concede a goal and you're going to get 3 points, I would have been like, damn, really? The 3 points, I can feel that because we're City, but not conceding a goal, that's tremendous to me. Ederson had his moments, but he had a great,
What was that? Was it humid in London? What was going on? Like, it just everything was slipping off. Everything.
New ball. It's the new ball. We got a really nice read from John Champion about all the different
and the grooves and everything
Nike has. Like, I genuinely think the ball was just moving different. Like, because it definitely got him like 3 times.
Yeah.
But hey, adjustments. Practice is different. You get in the game out there, it's a little different humidity out there.
It was. Hey, and I'm Team Eddie, so I'm supporting him. But it's just like, Eddie, you made it a little rough for us. You made it a little hot for this match. But the clean sheet was held on. in Breaking Bread, I said 3-1, and I said I didn't even want to give him the 1, but that was also just that's my energy for the season. Is I gave in to giving up on clean sheets at the end of last year, but this is a new season. This is a new season. And when we start with a clean sheet, I have no choice but to just fall into old habits. So I'm not going to say every match is a clean sheet, but I think we're going to get more clean sheets than we're going to get 6s. And I need to find some joy somewhere. So if we don't get a clean sheet, we need to score 6 goals. So that's what I'm saying, City. If we're gonna, that's what I'm saying. Somehow, some way, either be defensively astute or offensively a juggernaut. No. You know, I'm not asking for much. You know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Kovacic. Him. We haven't even got to Kovacic. Goodness gracious. Like I said, he was great. I was worried that he would waddle on the ball, get caught, and what would we do from there? That would put Rico in a bad position. That only happened once, and the team reacted great defensively from it. And that's what happens. That's what Pep was talking about, is when you're in the dark, when you're stressed, when things get scrappy and tough, how do you react? How do your teammates react? Do you lift each other up? When one person messes up, Vardiol, Rodri, Diaz is there, is to stop somebody, to be there and be like, no, I got you, bro. You guys thought you caught us. No. I know you have been game planning on this one moment, and every single time in training you have scored off of this moment. What happens when you don't now? What can you do? And yeah, Kovacic is great. All the people that I was hesitant and I was worried about, it's nobody now. And my whole thing this year is really trying to not hate on the players, more just like focus on what I do see as weaknesses. But Rico, what I saw as a weakness, he has now shown that that's not a problem. Kovacic has shown, hey, in this moment, I can be that guy. And in theory, he shouldn't be asked to be the Rodri replacement in huge matches. I don't expect him to be the Rodri replacement in cup, in the away leg, second leg of a Champions League semi, unless, Rodri somehow gets injured or whatever, then you have to accept it. But I don't think he's going to be above Rodri. So as Kovacic doing Kovacic things, I'm all in for him. I'm all in for Rico. Savio, even when I said at the kickoff show, are we putting too much on him? He obviously wants all of it. Put all the weight on his shoulders. He's got it. He's carrying the team on his back. Torn ACL, it doesn't mean anything. Sorry, I'm Greg Jennings in Madden. That's what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. But yeah,
great call that. Put the team on my back, Joe.
Got the team on my back. But yeah, no, just the team looks great. All of the things people were worried about, and you saw this reaction from the team. How can you leave this match not just pump the fuck up, truly, just so proud of this team? I don't know. Did either of you find a negative about this match?
I think there's always potential to find a negative. I think there were moments where you felt like Chelsea were knocking. They did have a potential shot on goal. I mean, Nicholas Jackson, if he wasn't a nincompoop and can keep himself on side,
nincompoop.
Technically they would have, scored. I really, really gotta sing more praises to the amoeba that is Mateo. I mean, this is, again, a guy who's come in. This is the full second year, and we're seeing an opportunity now to have a guy like that know that while everyone's worried about trying to find ourselves someone in the market that can come in and play behind Rodri and get those minutes away from him early in the season in the Carabao Cup and some of these early FA Cup rounds and all that stuff. And we know how much Pep likes to rely on a guy like Rodri. I think we're seeing case in point right now of Matteo proving himself that he's always been a star player. Coming in, we know we've got a seasoned, full-on pedigree, great resume type of guy.
Yep.
My gosh, my throat is just yelling all the time with the Greenville Citizens today. That should be a fine. It's really impressive to me that Matteo is showing us case in point today in a big match that he's got the smarts to go ahead and come in for that type of role and even be the more formal and aggressive in certain moments. And that key goal that he had, the shot, the movement, he created it himself by getting the deflection and the pass essentially with the interception and starting the run. I just loved everything out of Matteo today, and that gave us a huge amount of reassurance, at least personally. It's going to be a good year for him, hopefully.
So 2 thoughts. First, the only mistake I wrote down, it was towards the end of the first half. We had a transition opportunity. I think Kev got the ball up to Doku. He was on the right this time off a Chelsea corner. He just didn't release Haaland. Like, he dribbled twice, and he should have just passed it and let Haaland run into the space. Literally the only mistake I saw in my notes. But when you talk about Kovacic, the thing I wrote at the end of halftime was first half, didn't miss number 2, number 16, or number 47. And that's brilliant. To have 3 players who are top 3 in their positions in the world. Like, 2 of them will be on the Ballon d'Or list. One of them we know is the right back shutdown corner. Like, and not feel like, oh my God, we're struggling without them. Like, we saw it last year. Rodri got that red card suspension and we literally fell apart. And that was when we got 2 of our 3 losses, right? Like, this is a real thing that happened in the past, but now this is a new year, new season. And that familiarity of Kova and Vardiol having a whole year under their belt helps. Rico having his whole first year as a main player helps. Bernardo coming back to a natural position where he can be a pest in the midfield beside Kevin and give some of those legs. Kevin brought out his shooting boots. Like, the whole team picked up where we left off in that last run. And, like, for this to be the 10th straight win of 2 or more goals, the first time ever in Premier League history, we keep setting new records. They have to, like, these stats people are working overtime. They're like, damn, who did this before? Nobody? Oh, shit. Hey, City, good job. Like, we keep doing this. And I think Kova's one of those players, guys, that's like, usually fan bases hype their players. Everybody undersells him. And it's not like this man hasn't started for Croatia in that midfield for years. He hasn't played in Champions League finals for Chelsea. He hasn't played for Real Madrid. He hasn't played in World Cup semifinals and third place games. Like, this man is him when it comes to, like, pedigree, when it comes to, like, knowing how to rise in big moments. Like, and just the way he handled the goal, didn't let the moment get past him. He respected tradition. You don't celebrate against the old club.
Yeah.
Just calm down, calm. Like, I'm not going to show up my old club. You know, the respect's there. Like, that's an adult on the pitch, man. Like, it makes me excited to say, like, hey, like, we seen him double with Rodri. But if Rodri needs that break on a Thursday on a Sunday match before the big Wednesday Champions League game, we good.
Yeah.
You know, we got 6 defenders to rotate. I think we have 6 midfielders to rotate. We got 6 forwards to rotate. Like, we can get it in however we need, or 5 forwards. But, like, we got people at every station, and, like, that's why we're the best team in the world. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I just love to play football, and the manager asks us to take the ball always, to play football, because this is his game, just to play in all situations whenever you can. And I think today, again, we showed the great quality on the ball, but as well off the ball, which is important. So, this team is just amazing to play with, and of course, I feel with more confidence with them.
And he said all the right things about, yeah, it's hard to get on because I have such amazing teammates. Like, it's hard to get above them, but you always have your chance. And when you come in, you just do your job. And that's what you get for a player like Kovacic, who has been through all of it. He's been the young phenom who's getting ahead of players, and he's been the guy who was ignored and thought that he should get more playing time. And now we see the man who we have. Okay. Anything else from this match before we move on? Yeah, I
think it's fair to give Enzo some time, and I want to show respect to a manager that I think has some sort of identity. And in times where some managers at certain big clubs don't even show a form of identity in how they play, I want to show some credit to Enzo and the fact that they did potentially try to go at us. It wasn't necessarily an approach that said we're going to go ahead and bend and not break. So to Chelsea fans, to Kaminsky North, everyone over at the Flag Stay Down podcast, be a little patient with the guy Enzo. Quickly, guys, your opinion on this. Their fans, on a poll that they put up on Twitter, voted that Romeo Lavia was their best player today. Would you all agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
He cooked. Like, that's the player we saw at City, the player that started at Southampton before the injuries. Is what got the move to Chelsea. Romeo's him. I honestly think, like, the Caicedo-Romeo pair is great. Move Palmer in the 10, put another winger out there, and get Enzo off the pitch. Enzo should not be captain. He should not be a starter. He's not an 8. He's not a 6. He balls at Argentina because all you got to do is hustle, and you got Messi up top to kind of build around. But, like, in a club, Benfica they ran off on the plug. Like, shout out to Benfica for fleecing them, bro.
See, I feel like that about Cancelo, bro. I honestly, genuinely feel more down on Cancelo than Enzo. I don't know what it is about Cancelo.
I think Caicedo, like, he does his job. He is an enforcer. He's a true 6.
Yeah.
Like, that's his job.
He gives me Fernandinho vibes, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Fernandinho without the polish, right? But, like,
yes,
he is the one that's just athletic, out there running around, taking fouls, doing all that shit. Enzo's supposed to be more polished. He's supposed to be the one, like, a creator. You don't start somebody in the 10 and give him a captain's armband that can't create. Like, it's like Maresca got dealt the shitty hand like every Chelsea manager has in the last 7 years because they have too many fucking players. But, like, if he can make that tough decision to get him off the pitch and bring another winger on and let Cole cook, I honestly think they're going to be good. Like, we saw what they could do at the end of last season. They have the talent.
Criminal to not start Cole at the 10. I definitely agree with you there. Doing Enzo at the 10 is, we got you got bigger problems. I don't know what that approach there. That's actually, you know what, Enzo, what the fuck were you thinking? And then, now that I'm looking at this, Enzo at the 10 with Palmer out on wing, you nematode, tuck in Enzo with actually, between the headache of Enzo and Cancelo, figure that out. Romeo Lavia with a 7-1 best rating on the Chelsea squad today. And there was a sprinkle of a little sprinkle of a Neto today. So, whatever. Fuck off. We win. Let's move.
Shout out to Chelsea for getting Neto, so we don't have to have that conversation anymore. I really do appreciate that.
You weren't a big fan of that convo?
Not at all. I think he would have been a slightly better Nunes. Like, it just, he would have got here, and he's good, but I just think once you get in that sea, like to use your phrase, you're a big shark. You think you're a big shark, and then you get in a pool with other big sharks, and you got to see how that bite is. And I think he'd get around all them, and he'd be like, "Ooh, okay. Do I actually want this grind? Do I want that grind? Am I like Zinchenko? Do I want to refuse and grind and figure myself out, or am I like Calvin Phillips and I just smile my way to different loans until I hopefully eventually."
How did Calvin Phillips get into this, man? God,
he always gets the dig, bro. He always gets the dig, bro.
God damn. This man is a nugget. Keep going, bro. What's next, man? What's next? So many strays. Like a drive-by in Southeast DC.
It was just one. That was just one.
One too many. Let that man train and get ready. He can't play us this week, so like let that man enjoy.
That man wasn't even in London.
Oh, he was there. He was sitting there. He was there.
Calvin was there?
He was at the Ipswich game. He was at the Ipswich game.
Exactly. He's with his club. His current club. Jesus.
Okay, my bad. Premier League. How do you see this going? Who are the top 6 for you, and who's getting relegated?
Relegation is going to be 3 up, 3 down. All those teams suck. Everton's going to be close, of course. Like they'll be like 17th, and it's always going to be a relegation battle. But yeah, the 3 up, 3 down. But our top 6, I'll go in reverse order. Number 6, I'm going to go with the revamped Newcastle. No Champions League. Bringing back Isak was huge. Keeping Gordon, Harvey Barnes healthy. The Gamblers back. I like Newcastle. Number 5, we got Unai Emery's boys. Aston Villa's cooking. They have the things. They have the depth. They have a real squad for Unai to work with and manage Champions League. He knows how to do it. He likes the continent. He's going to be great. Number 4, I'm high on Ange. Big Ange, man. I love what Spurs did. I'm big on Solanke. I think he's the 9 they needed. He can play with Richarlison. He can play ahead of him. It adds a depth piece. It lets Son get back to being on that wing, running off of people. I like that style. We get to see them on Monday night. Number 3, going with another ball manager. Shouts to Arne Slot in Liverpool. They still got talent, even though people are in their last year of their contracts. I watched that whole match, like what I saw in the second half. Number 2, our silver medalists, our number 2, Arsenal. They're great, but they're not us. And that's why our city will win a 5th Premier League trophy in a row. Lando, who you got, my boy?
Starting at number 6, I'm going to go with West Ham. I believe in what Petitgo and what they're doing over there. Got a little thing for a Spanish manager, and I think Mohamed Kudus has got some great potential this year. Number 5, I'm going with the revamped Newcastle. I smell what you're stepping in there, Charlie, and I'm going to back that. I'm going to go with them being 5th. I actually think that there's going to be some really good potential for them to come up with some good wins this year. I will say, no matter what happens with Newcastle, it's an Eddie Howe decision maker season. Personally, I think a decision gets made this year on how things go for them. Number 4, I'm going with Liverpool. As much as the Pool fans have said, that they're kind of being sluts for slot right now. I get it. It makes a lot of sense. The guy talks the talk and walks the walk. But I just don't think that roster's right where they need it to necessarily be. I'm going 3. I'm going to the A team in London. That's red. That's been competing with us for the last few years. We've said their name a bit of this epi, so I don't want to add to it. It's the Red Club out of London that shoots guns and is out of the Emirates. They'll be 3rd. I think it's a little bit of a reality check for them, as much as they've been pushing on us and having a chance to really be good. Maybe a little bit of some downward spiral. I am really amped on team number 2. I saw glimpses of them this weekend. I'm going to go back and watch it a little bit more to see how amped I really am on them. Aston Villa. I got Aston Villa finishing 2nd in the Premier League this year. Yeah. I really think that they are fucking good, and I'd be impressed. And would not be shocked if they really press us for a title. Number 1, you already know the vibes, boys. It's going to be Manchester City winning the league again. Drive for 5.
I love it.
Who you got getting relegated?
Oh, shit. 3 up, 3 down like it's motherfucking baseball in an inning, baby. You already know.
Yeah, I'm with you. 3 up, 3 down. Same. I'm agreeing with you. I have Newcastle at 6. I'm wavering back and forth between 4 and 5 because I think it's Aston Villa and Tottenham. They're very close, I think. And it's really just who can hunker down. Who does Ange continue to make those culture rants where he's trying to check people? That's needed, but that's when he needs to figure out how to do that. Because I mean, Pep does the same thing, but now he has a finesse way at checking people now, and he made the adjustments because he was yelling at people, he was cursing at people his first couple of seasons, but he adjusted. So it'll be interesting to see how Ange adjusts. So if he can handle the stress, which will translate to his players, Unai, dude is always chill. He's just drinking a glass of sherry during every interview, just chatting with people, eating a little piece of cake. Yeah, he's vibes. So I really trust him. So I'll Tottenham 5, Aston Villa 4, and then Liverpool. They just have too much talent to not be there right now. Honestly, I think they'll get it figured out. Arsenal 2, yeah, they ain't got it.
Less over under 4.5 point gap between Arsenal and City this year.
I think over.
Okay, what do you got, Lando? Over under?
Under, and it's going to be Villa.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have Villa. Yeah, see, I don't.
But technically, you have the over gap between Arsenal because you got them finishing third. So
yeah, so if you were talking about the A team, then it's over.
Yeah, good point. And then Kronk, who's your number one? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, Manchester City, another one. I think
never heard of them.
No, I think this is there's still so much growth with, like, if this is Rigo's position, he has time to really figure out how he can do this position. They'll learn how he makes his runs, how he lays the ball off for each other. There's so much growth with that. We really are seeing the peak of the iceberg in this match. Savio, tons of growth. Daku, tons of growth. Grealish still has to figure out what he means into this. Rodri isn't even playing yet. It's just, we have so much. It's great. And especially on the fact that we collectively feel Kovacic can step in for Rodri. That was like the huge fear of last season. So, and City handled things well last season with those stresses. So if we don't even have that stress, then maybe this can be the vibe season that we thought last season would be. I don't know. I just can't wait to see the Arsenal meltdown, because I've been saying it for a while. Are they going to turn on their boy, Arteta, their legend? If you can't do it for another year, and everybody keeps saying no, but you know how that shit happens. And
if he increases their point value for a 5th consecutive year, which has never been done in Premier League, even if they lose, that means they have like 91 plus points. Like, he had the best points record. He did something Wenger never did. Like, Arsene Wenger never got 89 points before. Like, Invincibles had like 86 or whatever. Like, he had a great year. If we go up a level and he comes close, you just got to give it up, man. You got to say, hey, we need Pep to leave. Like, I can't touch it. Look at Klopp. Klopp got 1 in 8 years and did not get. We know he dropped out of Champions League, right? Like, Klopp had ups and downs at Liverpool. He had some amazing highs, but he also like dropped to like 6 or whatever and went to Europa last year. So like, it's hard to come at the king. And I do think Arsenal has a squad now. Like, they have everything they need, and it's going to just go down to like those 2 matchups. We see them in September, and we see them in 2025. And like, that September match, I believe, is at Emirates on September 22nd. No, it's at City first on September 22nd. That's their attitude in that match is going to show everything we needed, because we know what happened in the spring of 24. So.
And that was the preview for your Arsenal 86 pod. That's part of the Shades of Blue Network. We have Byron and Paulinia that are doing a tremendous job with keeping up with Arsenal. And you'll get a chance to kind of keep up with them and the things that they'll have. Clearly, Charlie wants to be a SOB correspondent for them and talk about them all the time. And we can do so. And that's great. Fuck that club. Fuck that situation. We have a toll on how many times we can say that damn team's name.
No, we don't. You don't control my mouth.
I don't understand why we got to sit here and have some sort of.
You're not the boss.
Why are we having a conversation about Mikel Arteta's legacy and no one's ever done? Which, by the way, for the record, all of the genius that you all just dropped and the gems that you all provided for us all allude and prove why my point is valid, that he's not going to be in the Prem race with us this year. They're going to be third. There's going to be some reality checks this season, and I think it's coming. It's never been done, so you say. And the only record breakers around here that keep setting the agenda every time they play is Manchester City. It ain't Arsenal. Can't believe I just said it. Arsenal. I got to go shower now.
Lando getting mad at a club that hasn't beaten us is hilarious, bro. They don't beat us.
It's because I know them knocking, and I do know the pressure. Like I feel them knocking. Cute. Like, but shout out to Byron and Paulina. I want to get with them at some point.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Oh man, who's our player of the season?
Number 9, Manchester City, Erling Haaland gets his title back from Phil.
I'm with you. It's tough because we saw it. It's going to be tough for Phil to get on.
No, Phil's going to start. He was just coming back. I just think Haaland's not going to be as injured. So his goals are going to be over 30. And once you get over 30, it's like, how do we give it to anybody else, right? He has 33 and 7 assists. Like, 40 goal contributions. That's what I got him at. I got Haaland getting 40 goal contributions and winning player of the year.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna back the Haaland player of the year.
Easy. But I'm gonna KDB. He's gonna turn it on.
Ooh, I like it. OG coming back.
He's gonna figure things out. The first couple of games, he's testing himself out. I was calling him technically the cyborg before Haaland got here. You gotta calibrate. That's what he's doing with all these passes that are coming off. He's calibrating. The calculator.
He shot outside the box twice today. I was happy.
Yeah,
he shot twice. I was like, okay.
Man, that just when he drops down to take that shot for just that moment. Anything is possible. You just think that it's just going in the net. It's a different feeling when KDB is about to take a shot and everybody kind of knows it. Oh, all right. Who's the most improved player for Manchester City this season? I feel like it's Rico, right? Like that's
lining up to
obvious.
be early.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Oscar, but because of the injury,
I think it's Daku. And I'll say that I think his goals, his final product, his last ball, it will get better to go along with all the stats that he it's fucking Twitter people that I don't know. But no, like all the stats about his progressive carries, his dribbling, like take-ons, like he is one of one when it comes to that. And now he's just gonna add helping key passes, helping getting the ball in the back of the net even more. So I got Daku. Number 2, I got Rico.
I'll go Doku too, but I'm backing up what I said earlier on the pre-match show. I'm going to go Matthias Nunez as the 2 option. I think he's going to have a good bounce back second year. Again, we all know the first year struggles. Charlie, I love that you spoke for the Twitter people the way that you did. Work on last ball.
Final ball in the final third.
Why did he turn into Kermit all of a sudden?
That's how they sound to me in my head, bro. I hate those fuckers.
Love it.
Because they just hate on that black who's so great. And they just want to find something to complain about because he's not Jack Grealish's calves. Like, get off that man's calves and understand who's better at that job.
Well, if Nunes steps it up and does his thing.
What's the standard, Lando? What shows improvement? Is it numbers of games started? Is it goals? Is it goal contributions? Like what is? Because I'm good on him, but what do you need to see? Same for you, Cron, because I know you have a very high standard. So what would show improvement for Matthias?
Chances created, and I really want to see less possession lost. I also really want to see again, I'm putting the goals and assist contributions there. I think he's there. I think
You
some of
called
the
10, right?
10.
10?
Oh, I'm going
Yeah.
10 over. So whatever it is, goals, assists, I think he's going to provide 10 or more. Crunk now did put me on the spot earlier in the week and asked, you know, he questioned forwards, midfielders, and defenders. Who's going to be that player that's going to be, you know, great in all three of those? And I did say Mateo Kovacic for midfield. So that's looking already kind of prime as well. So I got a feeling Matthias is going to get those opportunities. I really do.
Yeah. I just, if he gets a chance, like Lando said, don't lose the ball. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the midfield, that's Pep's baby. We know how he feels about midfield. So just don't make him look stupid by playing you. That's all I ask. Especially if you've been removed from the first team squad consistently. If you're placed back in from there, that is just like the tryout. Just don't mess up. Don't mess up. All right. Ipswich Town. I'm trying to connect with Talking Town and Ipswich Town podcast fan channel. They are tough to get a hold of. So I may or may not be doing a breaking bread with them. But yeah, if not, then we will just have the kickoff show. But what are y'all's predictions for this match? It's home.
4-0 City.
Yeah. Liam Delap, he's coming back.
Oh yeah, fully out. Yeah. Yay. Welcome. Welcome back, kid.
Yeah, I'll go 4-0.
Yeah, I'm doing it 6. It's happening. It's happening early. Halan, hot trick. We're going to get a Foden brace. KDB's going to have some fun. Actually, I think like a Vardiol or a Kanji. Actually, Vardiol. I'll go Vardiol header from a set piece. I think that's coming. That's going to be nice.
Can I add a fun little geography note?
Oh, please.
For those that don't know, Ipswich is on the eastern coast. It's in Suffolk, in England, so a little northeast of London. Also near these other terrible places, Norwich, and a little further east in Luton. I just think that whole section being a bunch of losers is hilarious to me. It's like, damn, nobody plays good football over here? No, nobody? I think it's fucking hilarious.
Shout out to Ed Sheeran.
Shout out to Ed Sheeran. Divide, divide tour. Yeah.
I don't know why that entire region just took a stray.
Because they have nothing to show for themselves except yo-yo clubs and
Ed Sheeran
stadiums and Ed fucking Sheeran. And Cambridge is right there, a great university, historically speaking. But yeah, just nothing over there. Like I'm like, damn, where's the names? I'm looking at this map and nothing. Just look it up one time. I was like, where is this in the map of England? Because I want to travel there one day. I'm like, Ipswich. I won't pass it.
Do I want to go?
I won't pass Ipswich. I won't go to Suffolk. Like I'm done. Nah, bro. We go west of London, north of London. We do not go east. Canterbury Tales. There's nothing over there for me. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that out.
Canterbury Tales.
Oh,
welcome to that. Yeah, welcome to the big stages. Can't wait to blow y'all out. I'm excited.
Oh man, Shades of Blue Network has plenty of show offerings this week coming via podcasts and live streams. Like Lando was saying, our Super Soaker friends, they talk about
I know about Red. That. What do you mean by that?
That is my nickname for the Gunners.
Oh, okay, because when I hear Super Soaker, I think it's something else. Just want to make sure. I didn't know what's happening. All right, cool.
Oh no!
And there's Charlie previewing our Only Shades content for the week.
I mean, I was like, yo, hey, it's after 9:30 on the East Coast over here. All right,
we getting it over here, I guess. Tell all of your Arsenal friends. I'll say the word this one time about. Okay, 2 times. It's the name of the podcast, Arsenal 86. It's the name of the podcast. So it's our new AF. What is there? AFC. Yeah. Their new podcast hosted by Byron and Paulina, and then Wednesday night, Grego and I will be recording your favorite wrestling show. Check and hear from us about Breaking Bread with Talking Town. And then we got Lit Stream this week, the most dangerous show about football. We got Fed of Nutmeg City FC. He's a most dope content creator that I met down in North Carolina a few weeks ago. Jonathan of Banner Pub FC. And then KC Stand Up, Eric Wall is our third guest of the show. Tap into the litness Saturday. Tap into the litness. And then Saturday at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern is our kickoff show for City versus Ipswich, live on FanFest. And then Sunday, I had to move the first round of our Man City King of the Ring live stream to this Sunday. So that will be 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. British summertime. We have a mixed panel of American and English City fans, content creators, and we're going to discuss who are the toughest, most badass wrestlers in the squad, brother. And then plenty of just amazing content for you to consume this week on SOBN. Follow us on social medias at Shades of Blue Network. It is at Shades of Blue NW, Shades of Blue NW. Sharpie, Lando. Pew, pew. Let people know where they can find you.
At Sharpie Charlie on X.
At Shades of Blue NW, at Shades of Blue NW. If I say it one more time, it's Beetlejuice, at Shades of Blue NW. That means you're going there, you're going to like, you're going to subscribe, you're going to comment, you're going to get at us on some of the content that you like or dislike about it. I don't care. Give me an opinion. Tell me I'm ugly. Tell me you don't like the hat. Tell me you don't like the live sign behind us. Tell me you don't like the fact that Pep Guardiola's on the back. I really don't care. Get involved. Engage with us. Want to hear from you. Would love to interact. At Shades of Blue NW.
Until then, you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.